Hello everybody, welcome back to another matchday preview, previewing our clash at Craven Cottage tomorrow night versus us, Fulham and Leicester City. Matchday previews coming thick and fast, 3 games in the space of 6 days, which means plenty of content hitting the channel within the next 4 or 5 days, which is always good to do. So reflecting on Sunday's game before I move into the preview ahead of tomorrow night's game. First trip to Stamford Bridge, it was my first actual trip there, so I enjoyed it. It was it was a decent game. We give it a good go on Sunday, but in the end, we just didn't have enough quality in the final third really to trouble Chelsea. We had a couple of chances, as we know. Kepa made a great save from Chambers from the corner in the second half. The midfield in the first half was a bit soft. I felt, the first goal was a horrible pass from Odoi to get past the Serene in. It was hospital past the Serene. He was basically left in the shit, really, wasn't he? Left in the lurches, and he couldn't do much about it. And they scored a simple goal inside 4 minutes, and we're chasing the game from an early stage, which wasn't great. Obviously, we did come back, showed a bit more fight in the second half, and I was unlucky with the second goal. Really, I felt 2-0 probably wasn't a fair justification. I don't think of the game. On another day we'd probably get a point there, but wasn't to be. Only one set of fans were singing on Sunday. That was our fans. I mean, Stamford Bridge, I was quite surprised at how quiet it was. I didn't think it was that quiet. Every time I've seen what Stamford Bridge atmosphere is like on TV. I've always thought it's a bit more of a better atmosphere than what it is, and it was very quiet, and need I say more, really. So moving into tomorrow night's game against Leicester, as we all know, Ranieri is coming up against his former club in Leicester City. Obviously won the title, got them into the Champions League. Everyone knows the story by now, and if you don't, then where have you been the past couple of years, really? It's going to be a tough game, no doubt about it. I mean, Leicester, apparently, Jamie Vardy's a doubt for this game, which will be huge, which will be a positive boost for us if you want to play on Wednesday night. I'm a big fan of Jamie Vardy. I think he's a good striker. He's a striker who I'd love in my team if I was a manager. I think what he does is fantastic. So if he weren't to play on Wednesday, that would be a huge boost for us. Although they've still got plenty of other attacking options, lots of Kelechi Iheanacho. Probably hasn't justified the price tag since moving from Man City a couple of summers ago. Shinji Okazaki as well, a striker who runs his socks off, works all day and runs all day. He's a good striker, can cause plenty of problems. He's got a good work rate. Probably not as prolific as he might want to be, but he makes up for that with his work rate. He's a good striker on his day. Will work our defensive lines. Will try and break lines. And he's a problem. Looking through the back line of their team, the spine of their team is quite good. Obviously, James Maddison, who we all know about quite well. Obviously, when we went to Norwich in, I think it was April over the Easter period last season, James Maddison did get quite. He got wound up quite easily by Stefan Johansson, particularly in that second half at Carrow Road when Johansson was really goading him, and then it was probably a bit of immaturity. Maddison did kind of rise to it. It'll be interesting to see if Johansson plays tomorrow, whether or not Maddison will try and stick one on him, because we all know what happened that day at Carrow Road. Sorry, right tongue twister. But I don't think he will. I think Maddison's now improved. I think he's more mature now. He's got this big move to a Premier League club, and he's a good player on his day. I don't think he'll look to try and rise to any silly bait that Johansson or anyone would want to put out in the game. But this is going to be a tough game. Obviously, Leicester will look at this and think that it's a winnable game. I think we can look at this as well. I think it's a winnable game. Leicester have started the season quite positively, quite solid. I'm not sure what they're on the table at the moment. I think they're in and around the top half, which is quite solid for them. It's been a good start under Claude Puel. Talking of Claude Puel, he's probably laughing right now since Southampton sitting in the bottom 3. Mark Hughes let go. And it's all gone downhill ever since he was sacked from Southampton. Got them to a cup final, a top 8 finish, I think it was, a top 10. So I don't know what more they could have wanted from him possibly. And then they let him go. He's obviously gone to Leicester. And he's kind of, in a way, he's trying to change the way they play. Obviously, Leicester like to play a lot of counter-attacking style of, like to play a more counter-attacking style of play under the likes of Ranieri and obviously Craig Shakespeare afterwards. And I think what Claude Puel's tried to do, looking from the outside in, he's probably tried to teach us probably a bit more possession-based football, Leicester, playing with the ball instead of just whacking into a channel for Vardy to run to. I think he's a man who likes to play through the thirds a little bit more, but they've still got that ability to hit you on the counter-attack with their pace in their team. Players like Mark Albright and Damari Gray, 2 good wingers who are going to probably look to exploit our full-backs. If our full-backs ain't on our A game, then we're going to have trouble down the wide flanks. I think that's where a lot of their play could come from. They've got a good back line. Ben Chilwell stepped up incredibly well this season. I remember him going out and Huddersfield a couple of seasons back, playing there in their survival push to stay up when David Wagner first came in before he went on to obviously get them promoted. He went there, obviously came back to Leicester, has now eventually developed into a first-team player, got the nod over Christian Fuchs, and he's done well for England when he's played as well, which has been good. He's a good left back, a good young left back, and the future's quite bright for him. They've got a good set of young players in at Leicester, a good young setup there, which is interesting as well. Good goalkeeper in Kasper Schmeichel as well. He's a fantastic goalkeeper, in my opinion. One of the top goalkeepers in this league, I think. Fantastic shot stopper on his day and a wonderful, wonderful player, really. But I think looking at the way we're going to set up, obviously I've saw Ranieri's press conference, and it happened about half an hour ago now. So one injury, Aite is injured, which is very, very frustrating because he came on in the second half on Sunday, and him and Kamara looked quite well down the left and right hand side. So there's a bit more pace out wide, a bit more width as well that we didn't have in the first half. And for Aite to get injured after 45 minutes with a groin problem, it just sums up his Fulham career, really. His time with us has been a bit hit and miss, stop-start with plenty of injuries, and it's a shame because on his day I think he's a capable player, of definitely been an impact player from the bench. I don't think he's good enough to start for us, but I definitely think he's a good player off the bench. And for him to get injured again, I don't know how many weeks he's going to be out for, but it's a cruel blow for him because he's worked hard to come back, and obviously to get injured after 45 minutes, it's worrying. Obviously, how injury prone he is. He makes Daniel Sturridge look as fit as a flea, really, doesn't he? Really, compared to what Daniel Sturridge has gone through with injuries, Aite definitely makes him look much better. And we hope we can get him back sooner rather than later, because I think he's a good player on his day, as I said, a quality player that we can't really afford to have out for too long. Other news, I think, as I said, really, talking about on Sunday in the second half, really, I'd like to see that second half team start on tomorrow night, but by the looks of it, Aite won't make it now. I think we've got to make another change there, because when we played that team in the second half, it seemed to work better. Callum Chambers has been a different player in midfield. It's been different gravy for us. It was all over the place on Sunday, working well in the midfield. Just the problem was for me is sometimes it's his decision making. He gets into the right areas, and then sometimes you expect him to float a ball in nicely or make the simple pass, and he sometimes just whacks it away or makes the complete wrong choice. And in particular in the second half at Stamford Bridge on Sunday, he worked the ball into a good bit of space, went past two Chelsea players, got to the byline. We had a couple of players queuing up, and all it needed really was for him to just get his head up. All the quality players in that position, like you like David Silvers, your good creative players or good midfield players, when they get into that space, the first thing they do is split second, the head goes up, they look around what's around them, and they put a ball in suitable. But what he did was he had his head down, he just whacked it across goal, completely behind everybody else. And it's them small little things and fine margins that cost you points in this league. He's been fantastic in midfield. I can't really criticise him at all, because he's been a model of consistency in that midfield. He's worked well since going in there, since Anfield, Liverpool away at Anfield. He's done very, very well. Ranieri's also expressed his surprise at how well he's done. I think he's got a very good engine for that midfield, and if he keeps playing like this, then I could see him getting back into that Arsenal squad even next season. But if he keeps playing like this, I'd like to see him get signed up on a permanent in the summer, but long way to go yet. This game is a huge 3 points for us. I think if we were to get this, it'd be massive. Just keep us in contention with the teams around us who are slowly picking up some points along the way. Obviously, Cardiff won at the weekend on Friday night. They beat Wolves and it didn't help. And obviously, Newcastle, I think they lost 3-0 to West Ham. But this December round, we've got some important games coming up. We've got the likes of Newcastle away, Huddersfield at home, Wolves at home. There's winnable games then. There's definitely points there to be taken. If we can actually play to our strengths and play to our best, there are definitely winnable points there. Starting off tomorrow night, we get 3 points, as I said, it's going to be huge. I think our home form is going to be crucially important to whether we stay up or not now. The Southampton game, it was a very entertaining game, but we don't really want to be seeing an entertaining game from our opponent's point of view. I'd like to see us maybe try and keep a clean sheet tomorrow and get the team to McDonald's. Really, that would be nice, wouldn't it? Get a McDonald's trip for the team. I mean, it's not all about that, obviously, but we need to get the 3 points, keep a clean sheet, because our goal difference isn't great. We're leaking goals left, right and centre. Another 2 conceded on Sunday, 2 at Southampton conceded as well. It isn't great. And I know the team shape's improved under Ranieri. Defensively, we're looking better. We're looking stronger, especially without the ball. We seem to be a bit more organised without the ball. And when we have the ball, we seem to be doing a bit better. I think all we need to do now really is just improving that final third. As I said, a couple of choice decision making in the final third isn't really up to standard yet. But I do believe once we get a couple of goals again, like last Saturday against Southampton, once that first goal went in, it seemed to really spark and boost the confidence, and we went on to score 3 goals, as everybody knows. But I just think that clean sheet's coming. Obviously, we're the only team in all 4 top divisions of English football not to keep a clean sheet, but I think it's coming. Obviously, to go, I think it was 85 minutes at 1-0 against Chelsea is fantastic. We've gone to these bigger teams this season, and we haven't been thumped. Apart from Man City, which was the biggest loss we had, 3-0 in the league, and I think we got beat quite easily in the cup there, but stranger things have happened. We go to Man United on Saturday, but I'll talk more about that on Friday. But for me, my prediction for tomorrow night, I'm going to go 2-1 to Fulham. I'd love to just keep a clean sheet, but it all depends really. At the moment, I don't think we're going to keep the clean sheet yet. I think it might come maybe a little bit later on down the line, later on in the month. I think maybe looking towards the game against Huddersfield, maybe that could be the first clean sheet. I don't know. I'd like to see it tomorrow. I'd love it to be tomorrow, but I don't think it's looking likely, in my opinion. I think we can win this game, though. I do believe we can get 3 points, but it'll be a hard-fought 3 points should we get them. And we need them 3 points to push up the table, get onto, I think we'll be on 11 points, which would be great, keep us in contention with the teams around us. Obviously, on a side note, FA Cup third round draw was last night, home to Oldham, which is not the most fancy draw, is it? I'm sure it shouldn't be too hard, I don't think, although strange things have happened in the FA Cup. I mean, we played League 2 opposition before against Leicester in the Carabao Cup. We beat them quite comprehensively, so I do believe we should be able to get through that quite comfortably. And yeah, moving on to Friday, matchday vlog tomorrow as well. I'll be vlogging the Leicester game, which will be good. First midweek game under the lights at Fulham in the Premier League this season, so it'll be good going back under the lights. We haven't been there since the Championship days, so it's nice to have one midweek game at least. You know, it's better to have one than all the midweek games you have in the Championship. If you did enjoy this preview, hit the thumbs up, subscribe if you're new as well, and we'll see you all tomorrow for the Leicester matchday video. Take care.